Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I am going to touch on something that you guys requested in my last video where I showed what was in my professional kit. I asked what topics you'd like to see related to freelance artistry, and a lot of people said they would like to see tips or how to actually build a professional freelance kit. So if you're just now getting into makeup artistry, or maybe you've been doing it for a little while but you don't necessarily have a full kit built up, I'm going to share with you guys some easy ways and some tips to really start honing in on your professional kit and getting some good quality products in there. Everything is pretty self-explanatory, but I feel like there's a few things, especially if you're just getting into freelance, that you may not know about that could definitely help you out. So that's what I'm going to chat on today, and if you're interested, let's go ahead and start. By the way, if you guys want me to make this a series, I think I'm just going to put these in a playlist called Pro Series or Pro Artistry Series, something. I will have it down below just for you guys to go back and reference. I got also some requests to do how to build your clientele, how you actually get into artistry, and all of that fun stuff. So if you're interested in seeing more of those, then I can keep doing them, and they will just be in a particular playlist. Alright, so first thing that I could suggest to anyone, and this is regardless if you've already started building your kit or if you're brand new and you have nothing in your kit, stop what you're doing and apply for a pro discount. A lot of people do not know that most high-end cosmetic brands offer a professional discount to makeup artists. And I have a full video, in-depth video explaining how that works, how you get accepted, all of that fun stuff. I don't want to go into detail in this video because I have a full video on that. It's kind of old, but it's still relevant. But basically you can apply to receive a professional discount, and most brands offer it. I have MAC, I have Stila, I have Tarte, I have Bare Minerals. I think at one point I even had Smashbox. Bobbi Brown has one. Most high-end cosmetic brands offer a pro discount. NARS, I have a NARS discount, which is tremendously helpful considering that NARS is one of the more pricier brands that I carry in my kit. So that's going to save you a huge chunk in investing in products in your kit if you get accepted into these programs. MAC does require a yearly membership fee of $35, but it's going to pay for itself within your first order. So I would definitely suggest looking into that, and if you want to know how to get accepted and how to get the full discount, most of the time the discount is between 30 and 40%. If you can't provide a lot of information or tear sheets or references, they do offer sometimes a 20% discount to even students. So look into that. It is well worth it, and most of the time it doesn't cost you anything. MAC is one of the few that requires a yearly membership fee. Investment is probably one of the most important aspects surrounding building a good professional kit. And when I talk about investment, I literally mean when you first start getting your first clients, regardless of if it's one person, a bridal party, an all-day editorial shoot. You really need to invest that money that you're making back into your kit. Most, if not all, of the money. And I understand that freelance artistry for a lot of people is a side job. It pays the bills, or it just, you know, pays extra stuff for you. But if you are serious about becoming a makeup artist and kind of turning it into a full-time business, there is nothing more important than investing in your kit and investing in quality products. And like, for example, let's just say that I made $200 on a job. If I just go ahead and reinvest that money back into my kit, $200 can buy a lot of product, especially if you have a pro discount. That's, you know, foundation colors. That's several foundation colors that you could build in your kit. And foundations are one of the hardest things to build up because A, they're so expensive. B, you have to make sure you have several different undertones, several different shade ranges. So just the more you invest in your kit, the faster you're going to have a fuller kit, and the faster you're going to feel more comfortable. Because when I just kind of had how should I say it, like in this is probably a bad term, when I had like a half-assed kit, I didn't feel as confident on sets and on shoots and on jobs as what I do today, when I know I have everything in my kit that I could possibly need, and I'm confident with all of those products. So like I said, investment, it's just key, and investment is a never-ending cycle. Like, you're constantly going to be investing in your kit no matter what. So just kind of make that a top priority, especially if you're serious about turning it into an actual full-time thing. I get asked occasionally how I feel about makeup artists transferring products from their personal collection into their pro kit, if that's something that is like good or bad. And honestly, I have no problem with that at all. That's how I probably had over half of the products in my kit when I first started. When I first started, my collection, my personal collection, was not large at all, but I knew that, you know, let's just say like, hey, I have to put money towards, you know, rent and this month, but I'm not using this foundation in my personal collection. Like, I could add this to my kit. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, as long as you sanitize all products that you're transferring over to your kit. I still do that when brands send me stuff and I already have the product, or I just feel like it would fit a better skin tone or skin type. I'll go ahead and put it in my kit. There's nothing wrong with that, because I guarantee you 80 to 90% of makeup artists who currently have like a great kit and are doing well for themselves, I guarantee you when they started out, they were taking stuff from their personal collection and putting it into their professional kit. So by all means, if you have a large personal collection and there's stuff that you just don't use, go ahead and add that to your kit. That's going to help you build. That's going to help you have certain products that you may, you know, not be able to afford for that month or whatever. So no problem with that. I think that is a great thing. A few people wanted me to touch on how to build a really good foundation lineup for your pro kit. When I was talking about, you know, which specific foundations I used in my pro kit and how I went about choosing colors for that, a lot of people seemed interested in how I did that. So there's a couple different ways you can build a strong foundation color system for your kit to ensure that you have a color for every single shade range, every single skin tone. The first is honestly the easiest in my opinion, but it is more of an upfront investment, and that's purchasing an actual professional foundation palette. There are several brands that make them: RCMA, Kryolan, Bobbi Brown. I know that they all make professional foundation palettes, and those are wonderful because they come with normally upwards of about 20 shades, and each shades, you know, they'll vary depending on undertone and shade range, all of that fun stuff, but for the most part they cover a lot of different skin tones. The problem with that is that they are most of the time a pretty big upfront investment. I feel like the Bobbi Brown one is around the $200 range. Don't quote me 100%, but I feel like it is. Kryolan, they make two separate palettes, one I believe for warmer skin tones, one for cooler, so you'd have to have both of those. Again, those can add up to between like $150 all the way up to, I think I've seen the most expensive foundation palette be like $280. So that's a pretty big investment up front. If that's not something that you can invest in all at once, this is the method or the approach that I took when I was building my colors. So if you watch that video where I talk about I keep 4 specific foundation formulas in my kit, 2 of those are MAC. So I'm going to use MAC as an example. MAC carries NC and NW. NC is going to have that warm yellow undertone. NW is going to have the cooler undertone. And so you need to have, if you're going to go with MAC for foundations, you need to have a mixture of both NC and NW. So what I did was I purchased the lightest shade range in, or the lightest shade in Studio Fix fluid. That is, for example, one of the foundation formulas I keep in my kit. I purchased NW10 first, which is the lightest color you can get in Studio Fix fluid, and then I purchased NW58, which is the darkest shade you can get in Studio Fix Fluid. So immediately I'm covered if I have someone with the fairest of skin tone or if I have someone with the darkest of skin tones. So that's where I started, and then I built in between that. So I would purchase almost every other color up until I got to about like NW55. So that way I'm not having to purchase every single color within the range. I'm purchasing almost every other. And sometimes I would do every other, like skip 2 shades. Because what you can do, like for example, I have NW10. There's not really a reason for me to purchase NW15 because I'm gonna purchase NW20 and I can mix NW10 and NW20 to get an NW15. I hope that's not too confusing. Same thing for NC. So like NC15, I'm not going to purchase NC20 because I'm going to mix NC25 and NC15 to get an NC20. So that's how I did it. I hope that's not overwhelming for you, but that was just the method that I took, the approach that I took, and I do that with each foundation formula I have in my kit. So yeah, that's how it goes for me. That's how I did it, and those are like the 2 easiest ways that I can recommend building a kit, or not a kit, your foundation colors. So my last tip is a concept that was hard for me to grasp in the beginning when I first started doing freelance artistry, because I would get on social media and I would see all of these top makeup artists you know, saying that certain products were their holy grail in their kit. They could never, you know, purchase this type of dupe for it. They have to have the real thing. And you know, in a lot of cases that is true. Like you can't beat the real thing. But I'm saying where you can cut corners, cut corners. For example, mascara. You're never going to actually use a mascara wand on a client. You're always going to use disposables. So when you're paying for a mascara, I mean, I know you're paying for a specific formula, but the brush has a lot to do with how the formula is going to perform. You're never going to use an actual brush on a client. So why spend $35 on a YSL mascara when you're never going to use that brush on a client, and you could just go, you know, to Walgreens and get a Maybelline mascara. You know, little things like that. Makeup wipes, lashes, like, okay, you know, Lily lashes, Huda Beauty lashes, really expensive high-end lashes like that. Think about your client base and think about if they're actually going to be requesting those, because for my client base is mostly bridal, and then second would be editorial. I hardly ever get requests for crazy lashes. And the same thing with like Ardell. Like Ardell is a great, Ardell is an affordable brand, but it's still like a little higher up there than what you could find at like Walmart or Walgreens. So if you need like some demi wispies and you don't want to pay $15 for like a 5-pack of Ardell demi wispies, Salon Perfect makes the same type for $8. So find out where you can cut corners on and apply that. Just apply that to your kit. Real Techniques and Beauty Blenders. Real Techniques makes the complexion sponge. I think it's just as good as the Beauty Blender, and there's no problem with that. As long as you're investing good quality into your actual you know, skin products, foundation, concealer, powders, things like that, there's no reason why you can't cut corners on small little things such as mascara and lashes and you know, things of that nature, makeup wipes, just small things like that. Find where you can save money. Alright guys, I think those are all of the tips that I have to offer for building your professional kit. I hope I helped you out. If there's any questions you have or anything you want to, you know, suggest to other people in the comments, feel free to do that down below. And I'm thinking for the next video, I'll talk about how to build an actual clientele or a steady clientele. I know some of you guys were interested in that, so let me know if you want to see that. And yeah, I guess we'll continue this little series as long as you guys want to see it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.